Yay!
Wait,
Welcome! If you're new here, my name is Brenna. I am your vacationing from Vacation DM, and welcome to Tales from the Catacombs. This is our tabletop RPG adventure that we are thrilled to share with you. This game uses the Dungeons&Dragons 5th edition D20 system and rules, and the setting is a homebrew based off of the rock album Razia's Shadow by Forgive Durden. We have a brief introduction to the setting that you can read at your leisure, and I hope you will, so you can be as immersed in the world as our players are. Without further ado, please enjoy this episode of Razia's Shadow, a 1,000-Year Interlude. Let's recap. Session 17. Wow, that's a high number. Debrief. The novice emissaries escorted the novices back to Captain Nora's home in the Raleigh district. They found her looking much better than she had just the day before, and the debriefing began. The group confirmed the sequence of events that led them to the underground temple and the crown. Moonridge clarified what happened after the novices left for the Peace District that night. He and Captain Nora found Kalane's body, dead, petrified, and half destroyed. But the corpse was booby-trapped, which led to Nora being covered in blood and in a weakened state. With Aglin's and head celebrant Goworo's brief appearance, the novices also learned that the rubies on the crown were more of a problem than the crown itself. Those appeared to be what called to Ste'yn, and they did once again in her presence. And when they were broken, the enticing magic lessened its grip. Goworo said he would know more once the guards finished reporting on the location where the crown was found. Snow used his medallion of Detect Thought to search the minds of Goworo, Aglin, Captain Nora, Moonridge, and Vaughn for any falsehoods in their stories, but didn't find any. Then he abruptly left the house. The others couldn't find him, so they chose to return to the Peace District, while Snow sent off a letter to his sister and spent a lonely afternoon playing his instrument beautifully, but sadly without his usual audience of playful children. Back in the Peace District, Ste'yn, Beau, and Viola went to detainment in the Champions Ward and convinced the Peace Watchman Canyon to let them speak with the leader of the bandits. They got more than they anticipated when some unknown entity took over the conversation. It seemed to be toying with them, unfazed by their threats, until they mentioned breaking the rubies on the crown. As Canyon returned from retrieving Ste'yn's manacles from holding, the entity vanished, and the novices formulated their next plan of attack. The ones who are in the Peace District, which would be Ste'yn, Viola, and Beau, you guys began formulating your plans as to where you were going to head next, getting ready to kind of get this information out there before you were prepping for your leave the next day. Did you guys discuss amongst yourselves already, like to each other, what you planned to do?
We discussed that Viola is going to the frat house of artificers.
Artifratters, let's go.
She's going there and hopefully getting goggles of night. And Ste'yn was going to Saker's Keep to research religion things about the fiend or other various things that could be involved. And Beau is going to go train with Maria and also research their library for anything dark involved as far as what's going on.
So as you guys start to head out, please, the three of you, give me a quick wisdom perception check.
That's a nat 20
Got
for a
it.
total of 32.
Man.
15.
I'll remember this
7.
one day. Stop asking Ste'yn to roll wisdom. It's fine. No,
I got a
I'm gonna
7.
nerf her. A 7. Excellent. That works out lovely. You guys start heading out. Maybe like when Beau gets determined and he knows what he's doing, he goes. And so Beau starts to go. Ste'yn, you're the first to notice that this is a new area of the Peace Ward, or the Peace District. You happen to pass by a couple more of those job boards on your way out, and you notice 2 more wanted posters.
Oh my gosh.
She'll take them as she passes by.
Wait.
A nat 20, you found a third one. It was a little bit smaller.
Are they all on the same bulletin board?
No, you guys passed a few on your way
okay.
out,
I was like, wait a minute. They're all just clustered in this one bulletin board.
She found one large one. There's a smaller one that's pinned very close to it. That's like a double warning.
I'm
like,
expecting,
seriously.
So you're just going to find like a cardboard cutout It's just like a standing life size.
Life size.
Yeah.
Have you seen this man?
Ste'yn also sees, as she's heading out, she sees a couple of kids running past, and they're like play fighting with sticks. And one of them is dressed in this like dark cloth that kind of looks like it's mimicking that wanted poster. And he's like, "Bad guy, I'm gonna zap you with oh, but you can't see my dagger, so you can't stop it." And they're laughing.
You're famous.
But Beau, you are on your way. You head back to the library. When you get inside, you don't see that same guy who was standing outside before. So you feel like you kind of gotta, like from the library side. Oh, by the
No, he was by the
that
tower.
was at the wizard. That's right, he was by the wizard tower. Then yeah, you do see him. But he doesn't he doesn't stop you because you're not going his direction, but you see this kind of like settling glare.
Wait, he can
And then he
notice
looks
that
away.
with the 7? I feel like he'd just keep moseying on by.
Because of Beau's built-in spite.
I
I'll
also
let
just
you
don't
catch
think
him.
Beau actually committed anything of that guy to memory, to be honest. It was very
And you just
brief.
happen to notice someone from the uppity scholars kind of glaring in your direction, but you're like, meh, it's fine. When you get inside the library, though, it doesn't take long to find Maria again, actually. You see her moseying around some of the tables. She's got a few books in her hand, and she kind of beelines towards this other table where she appears to be placing a few books in front of someone sitting there. He's a tall gentleman. He has this long red hair pulled back in a low ponytail. His hair looks very clean, very shiny. Just everything about him has this kind of regal air. His clothing looks nice, and they seem to be discussing something quietly. Do you approach them?
Yeah.
They don't seem to notice you immediately as they are in some kind of conversation, but you can hear them talking about just, whatever they had previously been discussing. But if you are waiting there,
Beau is trying to remain on Maria's good side for now, so he is just going to wait.
very good.
She stays used.
There you go. That's all that matters. She eventually kind of takes note of you. Oh, Beau. Well, welcome back. Wonderful to see you. Did you get the book? And
Yes.
the scroll?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yes, of course. How can I help you?
Well, I was hoping that we could practice a bit more, if your schedule permits it.
Oh, yes, of course, of course. I was actually just finishing up with Bundrag here. I believe he's actually one of your fellow novices, and he's a fine scholar such as yourself. You two perhaps could teach each other quite a bit. You could practice together. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Maybe. We are about to leave soon.
Oh,
Well,
I see.
for like-
True, you did say.
Yes. So maybe not now.
No. Bundrag was just finishing up here, and he'll be on his way. In which case, that has my afternoon free. So if you wanted to have some more lessons, absolutely, I'd be happy to.
Well, I was wondering, since I'm gonna be gone, I know I have the one scroll, but is it possible that I could have an additional one?
Well, I would certainly hate to overwhelm you. As I said before, I believe that you don't want to rush these kinds of studies. You have to really let the information sink in, and your practice should be steady but firm. So, how about, if it's all right, after today's session, we'll see how far you get, and if it's something that seems it would suit you to push yourself a little bit more, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, I just figured it would be good to also practice some ritual magic. So, a scroll that would allow me to do that.
Well, how about we focus on that area? It might be a step or two above where I would have gone next, but you do seem determined, and we can see about jumping straight into those ritualistic spells.
AP class.
Yes, of course, just like that. Advanced proficiencies.
Alright, and then afterwards, there's actually some books that I was hoping to see if you might have anything.
Oh, certainly. The library is open to any of our students.
How much do you have on fiends?
On fiends, I'm certain there's a whole section. Plenty of
So, a
information.
lot?
I should hope so. It's a library.
Is there like an index or something to help narrow it down a little?
Oh, yes, whatever you're searching for. Oh, what did we determine the name of the system was? It wasn't Dewey.
Oh, it
What
was the
it?
Reginald.
Reginald.
Reginald?
Yeah.
Yes, the Reginald system is more than capable of sorting out whatever it is you're looking for, narrowing down the information as best as we can.
All right.
Excellent. So she turns to the other gentleman, and close you can see he does look a little bit older. He looks human, and he looks older. So it's almost like the way novices seem to fit into the city. It might be unexpected to see someone joining as a novice. This might be the first one you've seen who looks actually older, kind of coming into being a novice.
When you
But,
say older, how do you mean? 'Cause
Like
so
in his
far,
40s,
I feel like this is
like
the first time
like
you described an
mid-40s.
older person.
Did I?
I feel like it is.
That's
No,
fair.
there's the elderly guy.
Oh
in
yeah,
that
there's
shop.
elderly and then there's
Oh.
older.
There's ancient, there's
Even
though
older,
He's
and
like the
there's you
same.
guys.
He's like the same age as Storkum, but Storkum didn't get the older treatment.
Storkum might be a little younger than him. Storkum might be a little younger than him. And Storkum does look very good for his age. Like let's just call up a spade a spade. The man looks good. But no, he's not as old. He doesn't appear at least as old as this gentleman, who still looks good for his age. But you do just get that sense about him. He actually turns to you, Beau. He seems to have been kind of nodding along as you two were talking, and he's now collected the books. Yes, I am a fellow novice here, and he reaches a hand out. My name is Bundrag Onglor. I am the son of Fabian Melik Onglor of Zayli. I do believe we're intended to be bunkmates. He
Well,
holds his hand
hello.
He nods and lowers his hand. And what was your name again?
Beau.
Beau. Good,
Yes.
strong name. A pleasure to meet you. I do believe, well, I do hope that we'll have the opportunity to speak more when you return from this trip it sounds like you're taking. And perhaps creating camaraderie could prove vital for our success. You know, having one's back, as they say. And if you're also an arcane scholar, then please find me anytime. I may be a novice, but I bring a strong amount of experience with me. And perhaps there's more we could teach one another.
Yes. Perhaps. Maybe.
Well. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful to meet you, Beau. Lady Maria, wonderful to see you too. And
Can I
to
ask
you.
you something?
Oh, yes, of course.
What made you want to be a novice?
Well, I have all this intelligence, but there's only so much you can do just sitting at a table or sitting in a library. I wanted to feel like I was using my gifts for good. I wanted to feel like I was not separated simply because of title or money. I wanted to be here where people are.
Have you found the title to give you the opportunity to do what you want?
Well, that depends on what you want. Do I want to sit back and be rich and just eat food until I die? No, I don't. I want to go out. I want to touch things and learn things. I want to be alive.
Yeah, so far you're not really describing to me what it seems like most novices go through in this program.
Well, your experience
Have
is
you-
certainly going to be something a little different, isn't it?
Have you found many doors open to you since taking on this?
Well, what? Are we talking physical doors? Are we talking metaphorical doors?
Either.
They can be a little bit, not always excited to let us kind of wander, which is why I've kind of found myself right back here in my natural habitat, you might say, among the books and the dust.
Yeah.
But I'm certain that once we prove ourselves worthy and strong, both in mind and body, then they'll certainly let us go about and prove ourselves to be truly useful, and then we become wardens.
Okay, so you're more aimed at going up higher. Because to
I
me,
want
it
to
seems
stretch
like
as far
if
as I
you're
can.
as skilled as you're claiming, then you could probably get a job elsewhere with a better title.
It's not about the title, it's about what I can do.
Yes, that's
about
what
who
I
I
mean.
can help.
You know that titles impact what you can do in a lot
Yes,
of
I'm
senses.
well aware.
Okay, well, as long as you are aware.
Oh, our camaraderie's already begun, hasn't it? Thank you for helping me be more aware. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you, Beau. And he doesn't hold his hand out to shake again. He just kind of nods in your direction, assuming you don't want to shake his hand. And then he will head out with his stack of books. And he has this very, like, joyful step. It's not quite a skip, but he does have, like, a very joyful step as he walks. Like, he's just a very positive, hopeful man. You begin your studies with Maria. You wanted to focus on, like, the ritualistic magic, and I guess a spell in particular you're probably leaning her towards. So what I'll say is, give me an intelligence arcana check. We'll see what you're kind of grasping from today's lesson.
So it's a 14.
And you were planning to stay with her and do this research until you guys met up later?
Yeah, we were planning on meeting up at like 6, and I think they broke off at about 12:30ish.
Okay. The studies feel good. Things are starting to come back to you that you maybe had once known. A lot of it is just kind of having to let Maria do a little bit of her own talking, so she feels confident that you're grasping it. But she is still quite impressed with your skills and what you seem to be grasping over these few hours. So you want her to give you another scroll?
Correct.
Do you want to share which ritual spell you were looking for?
I'm thinking, I know that the first 3 that I want him to have is Alarm, Comprehend Languages, and Find Familiar. So I feel like from them, probably Comprehend Languages.
Okay, give me a persuasion check, and you can do it with advantage.
Oh, nice. Ooh, maybe I should.
Well, I mean, drop them with meaning.
I got a 5 and I got a 2, but I get to add things to it. So the 5 would become a 12, and then I still have psionic. So that becomes a 15 with psionic.
Mark off your psionic die.
Oh, yes.
I think you knew that was coming. You kind of have to push a little bit, but she finally kind of in that mom way, like, okay, and kind of breaks down, and she says that before you leave, well, she asks when you'll be leaving tomorrow, and like if you're leaving like first thing in the morning.
Well, to be honest, we didn't cover that. Probably first thing in the morning.
Well, I certainly do not want to stop you on your scholarly endeavors, so I will try to have this scroll ready for you before you leave. You should find it in the morning in your mailbox. We'll have to prepare it. Of course.
And then
she's just saying, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to study with you, and I hope that when you return, that we'll be right back deep in your studies.
Agreed.
Wonderful.
For the research parts of it, do you want... Because he plans to...
rolling.
Okay.
Mm-hmm,
because he plans to do for a fiend. He's also, I mentioned to you, that alchemy book. Yeah, we messaged on Discord about that one. And then I guess the dark as also like a cross-reference maybe?
Mm-hmm.
So do you want 3 investigation rolls or something else?
Yes. Okay. And let's start with the alchemy book.
All right. Investigation number 1. Okay, I got a 12 plus a 4, so that would be 16.
Yeah, there's a slew of books about alchemy. Some are more generalized, some are baby's first potion books, some are,
Potions
some are
for dummies.
very specific. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a potion for Neanderthals, like all of it, it's there. So whichever one you'd like to take, you are welcome to check it out.
Well, he's looking for like a specific thing. Does one of those ones have the potion thing that he's looking for?
I need to remember exactly which one that was.
It was like to change eye color.
Yes. That's easy to find. Yes. Certainly one of those has it.
Okay. He's just going to he's not going to take out the whole book, but he's going to write down the formula for it.
You're going to spend time like copying what the pages say?
Or maybe he'll just take the whole book. It's fine.
Just take the book? Yeah, that's fine.
Worst thing
it
that
would
happens
be more time
is
you're
it
trying
just
to...
disappears. All right, and then the next one.
All right, let's look up some fiends.
All right. Ooh, this is getting diminishing returns now. So for fiends, that is an 11 currently, or a 14.
Okay, don't mark your die.
All right.
And then let's just have you roll, and we'll just get that out of the way for, like, that cross-referencing of the dark.
Okay, it's another 7. And then for psionic, it's a... Okay, it's exactly the same. So 14.
Okay, by the time you're ready to start researching, you were just... Most of your brain power went towards your studies, which earned you a scroll, so congratulations. But the information that you find about the fiends and the dark is pretty standard. You know, about fiends, you learn that they are these monsters from the lower planes. They have different forms, they have different desires. There's some kind of like loose hierarchy of command among some of them, maybe. But it speaks about all of them in that very lackadaisical kind of just writing it off kind of way. And the most important, like, jammed in your mind, and you've been learning this since you were a kid, is just that their sole intent is just mischief and harm. So it's a lot of that kind of basic information. It's the same kind of for the dark. It's this mockery of the light. The beings within it are just these soulless entities. It can and has been defeated, and its borders have been pushed back. So all the texts you can find are just very gung-ho about that. It specifically states in areas like, almost like creepy bedtime stories for kids, you know, you cannot survive extended periods of time in the dark without being trained. And then it goes into this whole launch about purgers and how excellent they are, and be a purger, protect the light. And it states in places that the dark can never and has never overpowered the light. So it's all that, you know, the same
Propaganda
information
books,
you've
basically.
told. Basically. But, you know, it makes the light look great.
No.
What you've always been told.
And he
Okay,
hasn't
and then
seen Cynthia.
He has not seen Cynthia.
Darn.
You know who might see Cynthia? Oh, she's not next. We'll get to her eventually. So after this, you wanted to, as evening is approaching, you start heading to the meeting spot at the, was it Wild Pike you were meeting, or was it Saker's Keep you were meeting?
We were meeting at Wild Pike.
For dinner, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, Ste'yn, with your newly found wanted posters in hand, you make your way to Saker's Keep. So as you are reapproaching that long and kind of flat stone building, this kind of not excellently, well, it's not that it's poorly tended, it just seems a little wayward garden in the front, all these, they're lovely flowers. They just kind of seem all over the place. The gate's lowered and you walk into the kind of entry, not the atrium, but right in front of it is still outside where carts may be and some animals are. Give me a perception check.
That is a natural 1, which seems fitting.
Don't make
there's
them roll
numbers in
for
between
things
those.
You don't want them to fail.
I mean, that's still a 11 total with guidance and her bonus, but
No worries. You are beelining it.
Still one.
It's still a natural 1. You are beelining it, and you turn your head for just a second. You promise it's just a second, but by the time you even consider looking back, something has hit your stomach because you're so tall. It feels like lodged against your stomach, and you're stumbling, and whatever it is, you land like on top, and you realize you hear this muffled like, oh, ow, that really hurts. Ow, ow, ow.
You just plowed over Jeremy?
Steamrolled the poor guy.
He stands out so much, he wears all white.
He is underneath, and he's like scrabbling, trying to get out from under you.
Ste'yn will quickly get to her feet and try to help him up. I am so sorry about that. I apparently lost in my own thoughts. That's not an excuse, though. Are you all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm all right. I also wasn't looking where I was going. It's been quite a day. For you too. Yeah. I'm sorry. I should have been looking. I was looking elsewhere, actually. I was looking at my own feet, but, sorry.
Enough apologies. Are you sure you're all right? You seem a
He's
little
got,
more
like-
anxious than usual.
He does kind of have like this nasty bruise that's like starting to form, like where his head might have hit the stone on the ground. But he doesn't like notice, or he doesn't say anything about it. Oh, I don't want to make you uncomfortable or anything. I was just I was looking for something, was all. Which is why I wasn't looking up.
For?
Well, so I've got this little medallion.
I'm thinking Jeremy probably has some keys for this place. So I'm thinking about trying to grab them. So Beau got a dirty 20.
It's not a key that you find. You manage to slip off of him what appears to be... It looks like a coin.
Maybe an inch long, maybe like a 1/4 inch thick. It's a little stone medallion. It's got little dots on it and a little design. I can't find it, and it's pretty bad if I don't have it.
Is it your holy symbol or something related to your god?
Well, it's not my holy symbol, no. And he pushes up his sleeve, and you can see around his wrist, there's this small piece of twine and this little stone pendant on there. And then he puts his sleeve back down. No, not that. It's just something else that I was given. Just if it goes missing, if I can't find it, I don't think Head Celebrant Gora will be very happy if he finds out. Ugh. It's okay.
I'm sure you didn't mean to lose it, and you had a very exciting morning. Perhaps it fell out of your pocket, and the excitement, perhaps someone picked it up, not realizing what it was. I'm sure Gora will be understanding if it was genuinely lost and not misplaced out of carelessness.
Yeah, he's pretty calm, but that's part of the problem sometimes with calm people, is that they're so calm you can't tell when they're really mad.
No, he's always been like that.
Oh, you know him from before
We knew him
this?
for a few years from before.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
well, I guess that explains why you're so good with magic and stuff like that. He's
He tried to teach me a lot, so I wasn't really ready to listen.
Oh, you did all that without him. That's even better.
I've looked back and found a lot of wisdom in what he had to say. If I had paid more attention to it at the time, probably would have saved me a lot of trouble.
Well, you live and you learn, right?
Exactly.
Well, I don't want to keep you. Sorry if I got in the way. I'm just gonna keep looking. If you do find it, it's only about that big, about that thick. But don't worry about it. I'm sure I'll find it. Don't gotta go
I'm sure it'll
broadcasting
turn
it.
up.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. I'm gonna go, kind of like
Kassie-
lightly touches his head.
Yeah, Ste'yn's gonna reach out and set a hand on his shoulder, and she'll use her healing hands to give him back whatever HP he might have lost, or
Whatever I
hopefully
might have secretly
whatever
rolled.
is. Yes. So he gets up to 4 points back.
Excellent. And you can kind of see the bruise immediately start turning from that like angry looking red purple that it was forming. It starts to get to that yellowish greenish stage before it eventually completely fades. And he nods his head profusely and thanks you, and then scurries back. He goes like around, like he's now looking wherever he's been looking, he's now looking outside. You head on inside. So you're looking for Goro?
Yes.
Okay. You do not immediately see him, but it doesn't take too long if you're kind of waiting in the area, or if maybe you were about to start heading to Atala's chamber in the meantime. But it doesn't take too long. He does return. You see him with Aglin, and they are quietly discussing something until they go far enough into the atrium and see you. And they greet you. Ste'yn, you've returned.
Yes, I need to talk to you about something that we just learned regarding the altercation from this morning, and probably more.
New information already. Fantastic. Come with me. Aglin, I think it's time you got some rest. Aglin nods his head and nods to you as well, Ste'yn, and bids you farewell, and he heads on out. Goro will lead you out of the atrium, to the right, through another door, and down a short flight of steps. It takes you to this underground part of the temple, where it's a long it's not very long. It's a long corridor. There's 2 doors further down that seem to lead into rooms, and then there's one closer to you. There's a couple of statues that seem to depict a few of the gods. Neither of them is Atala, but he opens the door into a small a thin but long office. It has a number of bookshelves, a number of those floating shelves, and a prominent table in the middle. He offers you to go inside.
Go inside.
Excellent. And there's a couple of chairs along the wall. He closes the door. He brings one of the chairs to sit in front of the desk, and then he goes around and sits behind. The desk is cleared. There's like one book that's on the ground, and he kind of notices it, picks it up, replaces it onto a shelf, sits down again.
Back it there. He doesn't go immediately. He's gonna try a couple things first. Specifically, he wants to try to throw a book through the wall and see if anything happens. See if it's like an illusion of a wall or something like that.
You throw a book at the wall, and the book bounces back at you.
And he looks to you, Ste'yn.
She'll sit
All
down
right.
in front of the desk in the offered chair. Yes, so Beau, Viola, and I went to talk to the head, the leader of the group that infiltrated this keep earlier today. And we discovered that he's possessed either at least by one, probably possibly by many different entities over the course of the conversation. He acted quite crazed in his speech and expression and spoke of how he is here and has some bigger plans. And I thought you should be made aware of that as soon as possible, because who knows what trouble that could cause.
He pauses for a moment. It's quiet, kind of familiar dead air that maybe makes you a little uncomfortable. Like, did he hear me? Is he going to say something? And just as it feels like it's taking too long to say something, he looks back to you. Did you see any catalyst to this change? Any magic in play while he spoke?
Did not notice any magic. I was more focused on the conversation than on looking for magical means, I'm afraid. But the change, there was a notable switch when I asked if his group was worth learning about. And at that point, his grin got even wider and bigger. But also, even before then, after Beau and I threatened him a bit, he's acted like he knows we want the information, but he became a game to not give it to us.
And did you assess the environment? Could anything else have been influencing you or this man?
He was in plain linen clothes. He had been searched already and was in a cell with nothing else around him. It was only Beau, Viola, and I in his presence. The peace watchman we spoke with had gone to retrieve some things for us, and there was nothing noticeable that seemed to be influencing him, to the best of my recollection.
All right. And did you assess your own emotions in this interaction?
No.
Very good.
I wanted information from him, and he wasn't very forthcoming. Tried to play along with his game, act interested in what he had to say, what he was trying to encourage, but I wasn't really prepared to be interrogating a non-humanoid, a non-natural creature in the moment.
And that is a very good assessment to make of yourself. You are not prepared to be speaking to something that is potentially fiendish, and that's all right. I don't think anyone here is asking you to do that. And yet you found yourself choosing to do so all the same.
I could handle it at the moment.
Did he give further information as far as intentions here?
He wants the rubies. He wants the crown. He was very insistent on seeking the crown, and then when it was revealed that the rubies were removed, he got even more interested in that. He repeatedly asked for his crown back.
Mm-hmm. And you only noticed any of these changes in just this one man? None of this happened while you were interacting with them as a group at large?
Not that I recall, but those interactions were short, and most of mine involved fighting.
All right. It sounds like there's more investigation to do. And I assure you that I will make sure someone is there to look further into the details of whatever this entity you believe you saw, whatever it could be. And if we must banish another fiendish presence, then that is what we will do. But I want you to leave here feeling rest assured.
Yes, sir.
I don't believe a word of what you just said.
I'm not really sure how to respond to that, because I don't know what you mean by that.
I mean, I don't believe you're going to leave here feeling rest assured. Not the way that your mind has always been racing, Ste'yn.
You're very true with that. But we have another mission to distract us from this for the moment. I trust that you will do your best with this, and I have to have that trust.
Very good. You have come a long way.
I'm not the teenager I was.
Questionable just how much has changed. But I think if you stay here, and I think choosing to take on whatever this other assignment is that you're doing, I think these are all strong steps.
I think they are as well. I don't know who or what you think I am, but I'm doing my best. And you've been instrumental in that in many ways, but I've also learned much from others too.
That I believe you. I will make sure that this is investigated deeper. And thank you for sharing this information. Was there anything else you needed?
Just one question.
Hmm.
Different subject, but do you know what I am? Did you know?
That is an odd question. What do you mean?
I mean, what I am as a person. I'm not human, I'm not elf, I'm not any of those things. Recently it's been suggested, and I'm likely to believe it, as I'm an ASMR. But I feel like if that's something that had been known to those I worked with or studied under, surely they would have informed me of that.
What changes would you make if you walked around believing you were an Azamar, as opposed to a human or an elf?
I would have been more confident, less wondering, less searching, felt more seen and recognized by my goddess.
You believe so?
Yes.
Do you believe that how you feel is going to affect what the gods decide to do? Do you think you're seen as holier?
I didn't ask for this.
None of us ask for the lot we've been dealt.
You still haven't answered my question.
I know a champion when I see one.
All right. Thank you.
Do you know a champion when you see one?
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
That is a 28.
What are you insight checking? What are you hoping to notice?
I guess I'm looking for any secondary or double meanings in his words or in his expression. Like, is he trying to point towards something or say something without saying it?
And Az is very much like him, which is probably very frustrating for you as a child or as a teenager. There's always some other meaning to things that he says. And when he asks you if you would know a champion when you see one, in line with what he was saying previously, it seems to be not just a matter of do you recognize someone of your race when you see one, but are you taking everything into account? Is it just the fact that your skin is pale or your hair is white that makes you more beloved by Atala, by any of the friends you've met here, by him, by your family? Is that what makes the difference? Or is it what you are doing and those things that you are choosing to do before you even knew what you were?
I like to think I know a champion when I see one, but life tells me otherwise.
Sometimes life can shut it. Go be a champion.
She just nods and she'll get up and leave the room.
And as you're leaving, you can see him reaching for one of his shelves, kind of skimming it like he's about to pull a book. But the door you can close the door behind you. Did you want to spend time in Atala's chamber? Is that the rest of the time until you
go
meet
chill in
others?
Atala's chamber for a while, probably around an hour or so before they're supposed to meet. She'll just go sit outside the Wild Pike and wait for others to show up.
Okay. Real quick, as you are going to Atala's chamber and you enter and you begin your prayers there, give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
That is a 9.
Cool. We're just getting them out of the way, guys. It's okay.
We are not starting strong at all.
You stick it out because you're a champ. You were just told go be a champion. You're sticking it out. But as you're sitting there trying to kind of focus and pray, your heart is just kind of racing. And maybe it's the adrenaline from the fact that you just had that conversation with your former teacher. Maybe it's that lingering taste of that kind of earthy tea that you had earlier. But your heart is just like racing a bit, and it's very hard to focus. So you have some difficulty with your prayers for that afternoon. But you get through it. It's just one of those dry spells. It happens.
Happens a lot.
The tea. Yeah, it does. All right. And let's go over to Viola. You also, by the way, did see those wanted posters. You did catch them. You make your way back to Kepner's command. It is, I guess at this point in the day, there's some activity going on outside. You see some people kind of mingling amongst themselves. Some people have little items in their hand you can't quite make out, but some of them like give off fun little like fizzy noises, and some of them make kind of scary popping noises, and you're not quite sure what to expect there. But you start to head inside. You're in that kind of opening foyer area, but you don't see... Were you looking for Ziva specifically?
Yes, and she would like, if there was someone that should look like she could just like walk up and talk to him, she'd like walk up and just say hi and say that that's who she's looking for and ask if they knew where she was. Or Gary, right? I think she said to find her or Gary. So she would also ask about Gary.
You actually do spot Gary as you start to kind of peek your head through where people would point to where Ziva might be. But you get like mixed reactions. Like some people are like, she might be inside. Some people are like, I think she's off right now. I don't think she's here. As you peek through, you actually see the familiar blonde Bob. He's now in a different seated position up against the wall. Now his legs are like up along the wall and his back is on the floor. There's like a small pile of wooden stakes kind of next to him. Each one has like a few divots in them, and he seems to be working on a different one now. This one is made of metal, it seems, and he's holding this little tool that seems to be burning a hole through this metal, but he looks quite preoccupied with this thing, with his tongue kind of like slightly to the side of his mouth.
Viola walks right up next to him and just looks down and is like, hey Gary, to try and get his attention.
And yeah, and he does. He pauses. The little wafts of smoke from the metal stop as he takes the device out. Oh, Vision and Gold. What's up?
Sorry to interrupt you. You look like you're pretty busy. I was just looking for Ziva. She said I could borrow something for our next assignment, and we're getting ready to go on a new assignment tomorrow. So I was just stopping by to see if I could chat with her.
I don't think Ziva's in today. I don't think she's in now, or she's not until the evening. I don't know.
Well,
but she's not here yet.
You could help me because she also said I could chat with you. She did say that I could borrow those night vision goggles. But I'm not exactly sure how useful they would be on this assignment. So I was thinking about maybe some other things that could help with certain things, but obviously I don't remember all of their names or like know what you guys even have here.
I mean, if you want it, we probably got it. The goggles of night are easy enough to grab. I can get those for you if you give them back. Yeah, I can get those for you.
With the town we're going to, I thought potentially, and from what the assignment seems like it's about, I was thinking potentially something that could help me or myself and some friends hide or like become disguised or anything like that. And I also have a friend who got this new necklace that allows him to read minds. So I didn't know if there was anything to like keep him from doing that on me or anything like that. But those are just like a few of the things I was thinking about. I don't know what you guys, if like those things even exist, but just what comes to mind.
He stops and he's thinking about it. I never got to play with any mind shielding, but man, I want to. That sounds awesome. But I don't know where that would be, so I can't really grab that for you. But I might have something for the whole, I mean, to be fair, it's kind of hard to miss you. So if you're looking to not be so noticeable, I might have something for that.
Yeah, that would be helpful. What do you got?
And he, as he's thinking, just seamlessly, like one leg starts to come to the side and the other one just follows, and now he's on his side. And then he kind of turns and he like pushes himself to sit upright. His face is a little bit red as like blood was rushing to his face. And he has pretty pale, like pretty fair skin. Now he's sitting upright and he thinks about it and he snaps in recognition and gets up. He's like, give me a second. So he kind of vanishes down the hall. In a few minutes, he comes back and he's got one little box under his arm, and then he's got something draped over his other arm. What's draped over his arm, it looks very bright. It looks like a metal that you're not necessarily accustomed to seeing. It just looks sleek in these little rivets. And first he holds out the long box that you recognize. It's like, well, these are the goggles. Oh, you said you didn't need the goggles, right?
I don't think we need them. I mean, if you want to let me borrow both, I'm never going to say no to that.
I mean, I just need them back is all, because if you sign them out and I had the name on there.
Yeah, of course I'll bring them back.
Cool. Well, then, shoot, there you go.
So convincing. You might as well be like winking at him. Of course I'll bring it back.
I'm being honest and genuine.
Unless it breaks or a monster steals it, I'm gonna bring it back. So he hands you the box, the thinner box, and then he kind of gives like a big swooshing like whoosh with the armor, this chain shirt he's holding in that sleek looking metal. I can give this to you, but so there's two catches here. One, if you wear this, it'll fit under regular clothes and it'll still protect you. It's just not gonna probably be as protective as this, which looks really strong. So you're a little more vulnerable if you're planning on getting hit. I don't know what your assignment is. You're a little more vulnerable, but I mean, if you want to look like a plain Jane anybody, you can have this under your clothes anyway. Is that okay? Do you mind being a little more vulnerable?
No, it's not a huge issue.
Oh, okay. The second catch, I could give this to you, but I need you to do me a favor.
What's the favor?
So this assignment, where are you headed? If you don't mind passing that on. Sounds like you're leaving the city, so I imagine
We
you're
are.
heading probably north.
Um,
There's not much south from here.
I want to say it starts with an H.
I'll go hen.
Hazelford.
That's the north one.
I was pulling up the map on my phone.
It's got so many things popping up that I forgot which one. Hazelford. Yes. That's the one. So if you are going there, okay, so I'm not trying to, pat myself on the back or anything, but I come from this family that is very good at inventing, very good at building things. And we're actually, my dad, he's actually opening a new storefront in Hazelford. And I kind of wonder, if you don't mind, pop in over there while you're there. Maybe, check it out. We always put out the little review cards. If you could just fill one out, get our name out there, It's a really good store. What we do is we take otherwise really kind of overwhelming projects that you still want in your house, and we make it really easy for people to just build it themselves. So you don't have to go out hiring a whole bunch of crew. You can build it yourself. And he grabs off the floor the pieces he's holding, and he's like, you see these slits here, right? This is where you would place the finer tools, like screws, nails, things like that. Easy, in and out. All the pieces are set for you in advance. And it's just as sturdy as any solid structure. And he's going on and starts to get a little more technical. But if we have friends helping out, it's really useful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate that.
The name of it?
So when you get in there, I don't know how big he's gonna make the sign, but it's called Ike A. My dad's name is Ike Allen. So you'll see Ike A. Name of the store. It's named after him. Wants to make sure his name's on the map.
Okay. Yeah, we will definitely visit them, and I will tell him how wonderful his son is as well.
It's right next to the Walmart.
I mean, I'm getting there. I'm definitely getting there. But I got a lot to learn from my dad, for sure. But that's, why I'm here. Look, if we can open up an Ike A's here in Gratimino in a guardianship of all places, we're going to blow everyone else out of the water. It's really just the Walmart people. Curse them. Our strongest competition yet. So if you're willing to help him with that, he will hand you mithril chainmail. It will fit underneath your clothing, so you don't have to have big armor, but it does lower your AC compared to your armor. Was there anything else you needed to do, Viola? He'll give you an opportunity too if you want to try on the chainmail, and if you wanted to use one of their test rooms again, you could do that for a little bit.
No, she'll just assume that it's gonna work, and she'll try and figure it out tonight when she gets back to the room. If she does happen to see Cynthia, she will give her a little nod of hello, and that's it.
And that's it?
Unless Cynthia talks to her, she's not going to seek her out to try and talk to her because she feels Cynthia probably doesn't want to see her face, let alone talk to her.
Give me a perception check.
Dirty 20.
As you start to head out, just as you're turning away from Gary, in the far, far, far end of that hallway, you see this little poke of pink hair that's just coming around or just coming from out of one of the rooms, hands and knees scrubbing at the floor. You see this dirty towel in her hand as she's like, some stain will not get out, and she's like scrubbing at it. She has not noticed your presence.
Viola's fighting back and forth right now because she has the kind urge to go and help her, but at the same time she is also thinking she doesn't want, clearly Cynthia's probably not having a very fun time right now and doesn't want to make her mood worse by seeing Viola because she's pretty sure she doesn't want to see Viola. Yeah, I think Viola's just gonna leave.
You do see a little spark from her magic before you see her kind of stand up and move to the next place, start working on a wall.
Well, Viola's just gonna head back to the Wild Pike.
Okay, you're just gonna hang there for a few hours? Yeah, you've got that. You've got, you can be up in the barracks, whatever the case may be. It's up to you. But if you are at the Wild Pike, you are treated generously, given a small glass of non-alcoholic beverage for free by
Water.
If you want to presume it's water, yeah.
It's not like they have a
Rosita
lot
will
of
be a little
soda.
nicer than that.
It could at least be
Milk.
milk.
Oh, I guess it could be
Juice.
milk or tea. I guess that's true.
Yeah, I think Rosita would give her some juice. Leave that for her. Go about her business.
She will keep an eye out for the polar bear, and then she's also keeping an eye out for her friends.
Okay. And Snow, back in the Raleigh district. I believe the last place you were was the tavern playing? Was that it?
He spent the afternoon in a park, all of
Right.
it, and then once it gets towards dinner time, he'll start to make his way towards just kind of wandering around till he finds a tavern. But as he's walking, he is going to change directions and just head straight for the Raleigh district.
The Peace District?
I get them
Not
confused
the place
too,
where
to
he
be
currently is.
That's
He's
the
going to
one.
try to find where he is, and then we'll seek
Get
out
his
a place where
bearings.
he isn't.
He's fine to give
And
some.
then yes, he's done
got
some
new
soul
agey.
searching, and now
Found some crystals. He's a changed man.
now he's
As-
going to begin the walk and back to the Peace District.
As you head back to the gate, you just manage to see there's bodies moving about, horses coming in and out. But even through all of that, you still manage to see a small presence in a kind of in green long garb that has her dark arm raised and is waving in your direction, waving you down. You see Rochelle, one of your novice emissaries, flagging you down.
How far away is she?
She probably started waving you down when you were, I don't know, within what? Within
in the
100
direction
feet?
I'm
Within
going.
60 feet? 60 feet?
She's in the direction I'm heading.
Yes. Trying to get your attention.
He'll go that way.
To which she smiles, and having seen her now 3 times and within this short amount of time, even as she's smiling, and it's a very genuine smile, you can tell immediately. It just still doesn't quite seem to reach her eyes. Her eyes just seem very mellow as she waves you down. I'm glad that I caught you before you left. The captain would like reassurance that you're well. However, it would be imprudent of her to leave her home as she recovers, so she sent me in her place. May I escort you back to the Peace District? It would give Captain Nora great peace of mind to know you've made it back safely.
I suppose if you would like, it's fine with me.
Wonderful. And just a short way away, there is a small carriage and a horse and a rider, and she indicates to it, in case you did not feel like walking the entire distance.
I'm more than used to walking, but this is fine.
Wonderful. The rider, it's not Aaron this time, he will help both of you up, it begins traveling. She doesn't say anything as the ride begins. She's kind of looking forward, and then she'll look at you occasionally and smile. And if you don't say anything, she'll look back at you, smile.
Snow is going to spend this time practicing on his pan flute the song that he wasn't playing well in the tavern. Then he's going to start harmonizing with whatever she's playing on his viol.
Oh, lovely. Okay, give me a performance check.
Literally what he does, but that is an 8.
Maybe fingers are a little shaky.
He's going to spend the time practicing that on his pan flute.
Okay, you start to play, you practice. In one of the breaks, when you're about to restart, Rochelle gives this polite clap as you played particularly well one of those attempts. And she finally seems to add in, I'll inform the captain if there's anything that you would like to pass on. I have a connection that I could message to her, if there's anything you'd like to say to reassure her.
You can just tell her I'm fine.
Wonderful. She pauses
I
again.
hope she didn't worry too much.
She worries a lot.
So you never want to do that. That
I
just means
agree.
you suffer both times.
You are wise. And she looks back out.
I'm very good at sounding like it.
But not being it?
I try not to be.
Choosing to live in the dark?
Very dramatic way of saying it. You didn't strike me as a very dramatic person.
She's bobbing along with the rocking of the carriage and the horse. Well, believe it or not, I'm the most dramatic in my family, but I've learned to temper my own emotions. It's important.
Do you have a big family?
There's a good number of us.
Are they far away?
Oh yes. They're south of us. South and west.
Ooh, haven't made my way south yet. Is it
Oh,
nice
you
down there?
must. Oh yes. It's quite nice down there. Tropical in some areas, dry in others.
Should do that.
Where have you been?
Oh, lots of places. Most of Urusha.
Many have traveled Urusha's lengths. And it seems even many more who have traveled it don't seem to know much about it.
What's the most interesting thing to know about it?
From what I've experienced, probably the way that she interacts with her neighbors. But most people are not interested in politics.
Yeah, no, politics are really boring.
Quite.
But I'm sure someone thinks that's interesting.
Oh yes, most of the figures here, who are in some sort of authority, find much of that interesting. But that's because they're directly involved. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah, that's something that I don't really like about this place very much.
What don't you like?
The authority here is just so restricting and full of their own authoritativeness. Gotta get out, see the world. It's not just about rules and limits. It's about freedom, beauty.
You know, Snow, you're not the only one who has not seen eye to eye with a captain or with emissaries or with authority. Those with authority, so to speak. That is what often happens in a place with many a lost soul. Some may even call us misfits. Although you will never hear that in Zaylee. To the world at large, you see, we're heroes. We are the ones who seem to be in some kind of authority, some kind of control. But really, we're only seeking shelter. And yet we're building the very shelter we're seeking while the storm rages on. What a fascinating event these guardianships are. I came here for curiosity more than anything else. And somehow I'm in a position of power.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. Perhaps I'll cure myself of it one day.
Should. Have you
Well,
seen
first-
any of the... have you seen anything else other than Urusha?
Other than my own home?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure there's always more to see, though.
Always.
There's always more lands, more cultures. The world is not a boring place, but guardianship is a very boring institution.
Let me reassure you that no one comes to a guardianship because they have somewhere better to be, one way or another. But there's a lot of good you can do here, and I think that is why I came here to help our captain. There's a lot of good to be done with our captain, and even clashing minds can fight on the same side.
I suppose. I don't really know what I'm doing here. But that's alright.
It is, and I think you'll figure it out, especially if you keep those
I
others
mean, if
around.
not, I'll just move on. Which
You would
others?
be missed.
Nah.
Do note before you go to say goodbye to your captain. I assure you, you will be missed.
I appreciate the thought.
I'll pass it along to her. As she says that, the rising gate becomes clear and the carriage is brought into the Peace District. She's helped down, you are helped down, and she nods to you again, and she lays a hand on your arm, briefly. She doesn't say anything, then she takes her hand back, unless you say anything else. she will kind of start to, in that very floaty kind of way that she walks, she'll start to. She heads in the direction of the. Oh man, I forgot to look up the name of that ward.
The Inquirer's Ward.
The
Inquirer's
Inquirer's
Ward,
Ward. That's the one. And are you making your way to the Wild Pike?
Yeah, he'll say goodbye to her and head off to the pike.
Wonderful. So at this point in the evening,
Actually, as I walk, as I'm going over there, actually, he's going to pull out the sending stone from his backpack. And as he walks to the pike, he's just gonna pull it out. Hello, good day. It's me. Don't know if there's ever gonna be anyone on the other end, but if so, say hello.
He was going to start using this as like his daily log. He just starts saying a little bit about what happened that day.
someone
Captain's
is
log.
hearing me.
Day 2.
You get the
Dear
sense that the
diary.
stone. Dear Sending Stone. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe what Beau said today. Oh. You get the sense that the stone activated. At the very least, it is functioning, but you do not get a response.
Monday.
As you make your way up to the Wild Pike. At this point in the evening, the three who had planned to be there in time for dinner, you guys would easily have found each other, so it would not be difficult to spot Snow when he arrives. But tell me where you guys decided to get comfortable in the Wild Pike while you were waiting. Well, were you all waiting?
Beau
You
was
weren't all
getting
waiting for
there
Snow.
just as. So I think Ste'yn and Viola got there probably a few hours before, or at least a few before, but Beau was planning on getting there like right at the time.
Okay.
Ste'yn was
Um,
sitting outside until she saw somebody else.
I don't know if Viola would have gotten there before Ste'yn or not, because I think Ste'yn said she was waiting until like an hour or so before we were supposed to meet. Viola just like went there, got what she needed, and came right back. And she
Viola
would
would be
have gone
there.
inside.
Viola's just been
Um,
lying on her bed writing in her diary. Being like,
she's
soon I will
writing,
I will
like-
begin my training. She's kicking her feet up in the air while she's writing in it, lying on her
S and
stomach.
V.
She probably did go up to like try on the armor situation, but then she would have put her gold armor back on. And
Oh, I
she
thought
would
you
have
were
found a table.
Show up
where
in a
she,
cocktail
like-
dress to dinner.
No.
Aw man, that'd be great.
Unfortunately, Viola didn't pack that.
Aw.
Aw,
Um,
dang.
But she would have just sat in a table where she could like fully see the front door. So either closer to the front door or on the opposite side of the room from the front
Okay. And by the time you got there, Viola, because you probably got there first, it'd be easy enough to nab a table, and if you just wanted to like, you know,
No more bleachers.
grab it. No, you did not need
No
to sit on,
polar
sit on
bear?
the bleachers this time. But it sounds like by the time Snow got there, it was heading towards evening meeting time. So I think the three of you would have probably found one. At the very least, Ste'yn would be in there by now. Yeah, we'll just keep it simple to have the three of you together. So if you guys joined Viola at her table, and then you'd be able to see when Snow arrived, which would bring the four of you back together again. Hooray!
What's on the menu for the evening?
Gosh dang it.
Does it change every day?
I mean, but you have a lunch menu and you have a dinner menu.
Yeah, dinner.
What are the
dinner's
specials?
Gonna be dinner. The brisket was really popular, and they kind of anticipated. So there's definitely more brisket to be had. There is a plated pasta dish that's kind of like a casserole. You have options of meat or veggie.
Oh shoot, I only have 25 silver. What's
Dang.
a cheap dinner?
A starter, like a charcuterie board with like slices of cured meats and some cheeses and some olives and a jam. But not like the really good jam. It's all good
Sugar-free
jam. 'Cause They don't
jam.
serve bad food at the Wild Pike. It's like a small thing of jam. It's not quite enough for your full brisket.
I appreciate the detail on the jam. Thank you.
Beau gets the
necessary.
pasta 'cause
It's
it
a
just,
cheap dinner.
it just occurred to me they all, at least he skipped lunch. I don't know if anybody else ended up eating rations or something, but he had the stuff in the morning at like 7 in the morning, and that was it for food. So he's gonna get the pasta.
Yeah, Snow hasn't eaten either.
Cool.
Viola's been snacking on peanuts from the bar.
You have a plethora. You just like, you get a new bowl from your peanut shells like every now and then, just kind of slips up and slips in front of you, and then the old one is taken by one of the bar lads.
Oh, hmm. How
Oh.
populated was it when Beau got there?
It's getting into a dinner hour, so people are there. Decently populated.
I
It's not as hectic as it was that one time.
Oh, is it
honestly.
as busy as it was during lunch?
No.
Okay, so
Surprisingly.
it's more sparse.
A little more sparse, yes.
Okay, but let me know if it gets as busy as lunch.
Sure.
Okay,
We'll
cool.
keep an eye out on the I'm gonna roll for it. Incoming patrons every now and then. 6 more have entered. 2 have left.
It's one of those math
Yes.
problems.
6 more have entered,
Oh.
and 2 have left.
But what does that mean? I suppose it's comparison to lunch hour.
No, you're fine. It's not.
Oh, okay.
It's not crazy chaotic.
So,
Well, what
how
about
was
drinks?
everyone's day?
I think we all need a drink.
Can agree with that.
I'll treat. Stan's gonna get up and go to the bar to get some drinks.
Yep. One of the barmaids is quick to assist you.
Cool. She just orders 4 meads, basic stuff.
I don't remember how much it was. I'm gonna say like a silver a pop.
Cool. Not a
Yeah,
problem.
well, 3 silver total to grab some meads. Sure. I'll say the lasagna. If you get the veggie, it's like if you get the veggie, it's
He's
only
not gonna
like
get the veggie.
1. If you want the meat one, it's 2 silver.
Okay.
It's a good hunk of lasagna. Sorry, casserole. I think the
But-
brisket was 3.
Viola's gonna get the brisket again.
Noted accordingly and subtract.
Cool. Stan will bring the 4 drinks back to the table.
4 drinks.
Yeah, because Snow's
Is
there
it one
now.
for Snow too?
Oh, did Snow? Okay.
You said
I
we were
didn't
all
know if she was, like-
reunited.
I thought we were all.
That was the hope, but then Snow
If Snow
didn't
hasn't
say
joined yet,
anything.
then she'll, if
Oh.
she sees him walk in, try to wave him
I'll
down.
show up whenever you say I'm there.
Oh,
no, yeah,
it
you're
sounded
totally
like we
there.
were all there. I thought
Okay.
that's what we were going under.
4 silver for the drinks then.
Can we get like a hero's discount for taking down bad people in the keep? Listen,
No.
the keep isn't gonna pay us. Maybe we can at least get discounts.
First, who are you asking?
Well, if Beau's asking it,
Most people here don't like you.
yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay,
He's-
who's
so
asking
maybe
and
don't.
to whom are you asking the question? First, who's asking?
Snow, you want to ask them for a discount?
Not really, no.
Fine.
If you want free food, there's the mess hall we can always go to, I think, that has basic fare. We don't have to eat and pay for meals here.
I'm not saying I want free food. I just want less expensive food.
Free is
What's
less
that
expensive.
validation?
That's true, but it's not as appetizing.
Why don't you just ask?
They don't like me.
It's true.
Well, then I guess you'll just have to suffer.
Does no one want to benefit for taking down people this morning?
Our benefit was that we got to live. So I'd say that's a pretty good benefit for us.
It was
Sure.
a service to keep into this guardianship.
Yes, but services can be rewarded.
I'd
I'm sure
rather
there are
not think
rewards
about
we
it,
don't know about.
So I'm just gonna get food.
Speaking of getting things, Snow, if it's your birthday, we should be getting you some sort of dessert. Do you have a favorite dessert?
Yes, actually. I don't know if they have it here, but back home, my favorite dessert was this. It's this layered cream and chocolate with a little, like a pastry sort of crust to it. It's very delicious.
I will go see if they have it, and Viola will get up and go to find.
Are you describing an Oreo? Wait a minute. I'm trying to
No.
picture this. in my mind. Sorry. I'm trying to
Figure it out,
picture
I'm like-
this.
I thought I had it for a second. First, I was like, a parfait? Is it
it's-
tiramisu? Is it?
No, in real life, it's called Mississippi Mud, and it's really good.
But Viola will go find Darian, and if he's not there, she'll try to find the blue-haired lady that we talked to yesterday who seemed to be friends with Snow, because she's assuming that one of them can make it happen, and if they can't, then she's gonna go to try find Lear.
Give me a perception check.
She's on a mission now.
That is going to be 9.
Okay. Yeah, you're looking for Darian, but you don't spot him specifically. However, it seems like Rosita, who is the one with the beautiful blue hair, always seems to be moving out and about somewhere. It's almost like she never leaves this place. You see her coming out from the kitchen, and she's holding a tray and serving one of the nearby tables. So her tray is now empty by the time she turns and sees you. You ask her about the dessert.
Yes, Viola will flag her down and be like, I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. I can't remember if you told it to us yesterday, but I'm Viola. Or maybe that was this morning. Was that this morning or yesterday?
It was this morning.
That was today.
You are an absolute charmer.
Viola doesn't understand time.
I don't think
Holds her
any of our
hand out.
characters do. We messed it up so many times.
Time is a construct. How many times must I say this?
She holds her hands out to you. She doesn't seem to be upset at all. My name is Rosita, and if you need anything at all, just tell me.
Viola will shake her hand. So, you seem to be really close friends with Snow. I found out that today's his birthday, and his favorite dessert is this, and she'll explain what the instructions that Snow gave her. Is there any way you could make that happen? If not, I do have another friend who's also a novice who loves to cook, and so okay.
Oh, my dear. You said the magic words. Here's what's going to happen. How long are you guys here? Are you just here for dinner? Are you guys hanging out a little bit? Hang out a little bit.
Okay, I'll keep him here as long as I need to.
Have you ordered food?
I think so.
Fantastic.
I don't remember.
Food's on the way regardless. And if not, the bar lad's coming your way. We'll make sure food is there. I need, if you know favorite dessert, I need it. If you know favorite flavors, tell me now. What are we looking for?
She'll explain the instructions that Snow gave her that I don't remember what he said already.
Perfect. It's a delicacy. I know exactly what to do. Now, you go on back. I'll make sure the bar lad's there. He'll get your food. Stick around. You're not paying for a single thing. I'll be right back. And she scoots off into the kitchen.
So,
Viola will head back and sit down.
so today's your birthday, Snow.
Yes, I'm 30.
Okay, so now our inside check.
I know I
Inside
look
check.
great for my age.
Now I can
Unlike
inside
some.
check it. You are welcome to roll either persuasion or deception against his insight. Duel.
Viola still, well, no, never mind. Viola just believes
You guys
it.
are being immediately tended to. As soon as you sit down, there's the same bar lad with the beautiful coif comes by, and he takes your orders. He'll tell you what's on the menu. He'll take your orders. He will immediately be on his way. Someone else comes by moments later, and already there are 4 beverages in front of you with cute little straw umbrellas on them, just hanging out right on the edge of the glasses, and he's goes back away as well, and you guys are left with your beverages. How'd you guys do on the roll?
Beau got the highest to be a 12.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. It's his birthday! And he's 30? That's odd. You weren't expecting that. Food's on the way. I didn't know if there was something you guys wanted to talk about while you
Viola
wait.
will share about the things that she got. Oh, and she'll tell them about Ike A, the store that we need to visit.
Wait, why are we going to the store?
So Gary is one of the guys from the Artificer place. He's who actually helped me today and gave me the night vision goggles and this really cool. Did he say what it was called, or was it just
The
Bren that said-
mithril chainmail.
Okay, well I know what it is, but I couldn't remember if Gary said it to Viola or if you just said it to me, so I knew.
No, he would have said it to Viola. as well.
Okay, so he gave me the night vision goggles and this like mithril armor, so that way I don't have to wear all of my gold armor on the road, just in case it gets like dented, or if for some reason another little fiend friend guy gets attached to it, then that doesn't happen. But in order for him to give me both things, he said we had to do him a favor, which isn't even a favor. I'm always for supporting friends. But his family is starting a new business called Ike A, and they make like these little knickknacks and things that make it easier for you to make things that you wanted to make already. So
Well, that
we
name's
have to
never
stop
gonna
by
catch
there
on.
and visit. I don't know. I think it's pretty catchy.
I don't.
I feel like it would flow a little bit better if those vowels were like elided. IKEA.
Yeah, that could be.
That's ridiculous.
And they sell what at there?
Little like gadgets and things that make it easier to make things that you already wanted to make.
Have any of us heard of IK before?
Give me an intelligence history check.
Wait, so it just makes...
We have been there.
You want
That's
to
a natural
do-
20.
Ste'yn loves
on this
IK!
very
You love
important.
IK.
I got a 22.
I mean, that beat me because I have a +0 to history.
It
but
didn't sound like they branched out yet if he's still hoping for them to get into the guardianship, but maybe I misunderstood.
No, you might not have. Are you guys also rolling? Is anyone else
Oh.
rolling? It's up to you. You don't have
Sure.
to. Yeah. It's open to anybody.
Wow. Last time was really Beau's time to shine. So, what was this that he's rolling for?
Intelligence history.
So, that's a 4.
Oh. Definitely not around while you've been, you're more of a road kind of person anyway. Sleep under the stars. You don't need city stuff. Viola, did you roll?
Viola's a Walmart girl. She doesn't go anywhere else.
Maybe it's like one of them Walmarts.
Oh yeah, there was one of those in my hometown actually. It's Gnome Run,
What's
isn't
a
it?
Walmart? I've never heard of a Walmart.
You can roll a history check.
18. I think Viola maybe knows what a Walmart is.
For reasons I won't go into detail.
Oh my gosh, I love Walmart.
Oh, I see. She's got her
But she's
brand.
always going to support her friend.
Just wait till you meet Tarjay.
My gosh.
No, Tarjay only exists in Ophidia. No, so
It's all the way housewives go.
I'm like Hollister and Ralph Lauren. Yeah, Snow for sure. You've seen one. You travel about and you've come across the main one that ever existed, which was up in Ubentis. So it's not the fact that they are branching out. Like that'd be a big deal for them anyway. But they just don't have that same kind of power pack that Walmart has, as far as like discounted but still like structurally sound items. And that's fine. They're whatever they do, they're doing their thing. But you're also more of like a road person. You're not really so much worried about like house stuff. It might have been like,
Yeah,
I saw a
he's
catalog
never looked
one
for
time.
furniture, so.
Yeah, you might have seen a catalog in the garbage at your house or something. Ste'yn, somehow you have also heard of the Soul Ike A. And yeah, it's across the strait. It's over in Ubentis. But you also know that they seem to be having, it's sort of on the DL, but between Ike A and Walmart. On the outside, like there are these two, competing businesses. They don't even exactly sell the same things per se in all areas, but they do overlap. Underneath, there's definitely some competition there. There's some pushing and shoving, but Walmart just has the upper hand because they're just better known. So, however you feel about them branching out, if you're a Walmart or an Ike A girl, your parents probably liked Ike A stuff. Yeah, you probably had some of those preliminary items in your own home, even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
We had
good
a few of
too.
the flat pack furniture things in our house growing up. They're easy enough to assemble. The little wooden pegs like to break though. That got frustrating.
I'll make sure to mention that to Gary.
I'm
Wait,
sure it's
who
been
is Gary?
been over
How
his
is he
house.
your
Fascinating.
friend?
I met him when I went, and the whole thing happened with Cynthia. I met him there, and Ziva said if I ever needed anything to either find her or find Gary. So
Are they just giving out magical items then?
well, they're letting
Can
me
you get us
borrow
some?
it. I'm taking it back.
Can we all
You'd
go?
have to ask for yourself. I don't know. I think they have like a specific checkout system. I have to take these back because Gary said he had to like write my name down for it. And since he was writing my name down, if I didn't bring him back, then it was his butt on the line. So,
Cool.
Wait, why
but they
was...
have lots of fun things.
Wait, who was not there today?
Ziva, remember the guard from Nora's house with the braid?
Yes, so she's
the one
off
with
for the
memory
day.
problems.
Yes, that one.
Snow.
Yeah.
Snow, I have an idea. Do you want to look like Ziva and get us some items?
If she's off for the day, it'd be really suspicious if she was suddenly there.
Nonsense. I'm sure she's a workaholic.
That didn't really seem too much like it to me.
Yeah, not really.
Well, just because it's suspicious doesn't mean it couldn't happen.
I mean, possible.
Ste'yn, how is the keep?
The keep was fine. I informed Goro of the entity we encountered, and he said he'll make sure that there's an eye kept on it, and that if there needs further banishment, it will happen.
Did you find out anything else on it?
No, not really. I got distracted. Sorry.
I see. Well, I didn't do very well finding out anything either.
I think it's something we may have to come back here and learn more about.
They do have a lot of books. They have a lot of books. So it was not easy getting through.
Oh,
What were you trying to research?
Snow doesn't know about the talking to the guy. You guys should probably tell him about that because I was enthralled listening. I'm sure Snow would love to hear what happened.
We questioned
Was there a
the
story?
leader of those crooks this morning, and it seems he gets possessed in and out by a fiend.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Yes, he was very interested in the rubies and the crown. Kept asking for us to bring him his crown.
And he seemed very unhappy that some of them were
Naturally.
broken.
He also
Makes
said we'd
sense.
see him again.
I would be too.
Yeah, he
Oh,
made it. He
that was
said he
nice
was
of him.
already here. He makes it
Yes.
sound like he just pops in and out of various people.
Well, obviously he was already here because you wouldn't have been able to speak to him otherwise.
I meant beyond
It's
the
very true.
cells.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
we
I
don't
mean,
know.
if he's possessing someone, then
Do
Why
a
would he
fiend,
be
does a
limited
fiend
by
have to
bars?
be in the environment for them to possess him?
I mean, did you see him?
No. I'm saying, but that doesn't
Then I
mean
would
the
guess
fiend
not.
is physically here.
I mean, he
Stan,
didn't say
you
he
have-
was physically.
Didn't you have something to see the little fiendy guy on my shoulder?
I was not prepared to encounter something not of this plane when we spoke with the guy.
Oh.
As such, I could not
So you always got to be
channel that
prepared for that.
grace. I try.
Write it down. Make a note.
In a brief break, the well-coiffed bar lad brings you your food, serves out each one, refills your drinks, and leaves.
Service is excellent tonight.
You're welcome.
Should be a birthday every night, Snow.
I agree. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Honestly, I should be celebrated every day.
Can't be a
What time
birthday
are we
every
heading out
day.
tomorrow?
I'd say we get an early jump on it. Rise with the sun.
Okay,
Sure.
so like what we've been doing almost every day.
Why wait?
Fair.
Nothing else to do here.
I agree, we should get out and head out early. Sooner we go, sooner we get back.
Snow, what were you up to this afternoon?
Not much. I was just playing my music, as I do. Pretty sure I got that tune down from yesterday. I don't know if you noticed, but I was terrible at it. But I have it down now, so.
Could you
Is
play
there
it for us?
anybody playing music in the bar right now?
There is someone playing up on one of the smaller stages, yes. Playing some lovely little tune. It's very whimsical tonight.
Oomst.
Snow, you should play for us. I bet you're better than this guy.
Nonsense. I need to play that.
Did you ask whomst?
Yes.
A nondescript human male who is very good at playing he kind of has like an almost vaudeville kind of act going where he's beating a drum with one hand and the other is like plucking at a harp, and it's strangely whimsical.
Nonsense. This is quite fun.
His other foot taps on a metal disc with you can tell the bottom of his shoe has some kind of metal plate on it, so it makes the ching 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 as he's keeping.
Thus his
rhythm.
name happened to be Bert. Mary Poppins.
Ah,
one man
yeah,
band.
it is now. His name is Bert Poppins. So yes, he is playing in a strangely whimsical way. Like magic, little birds are flying around him, and they look two-dimensional. The whole situation. It's very nice. As you guys are enjoying this and contemplating Snow going up to play, Bert gets some kind of signal to stop playing. And thus he does. Which most people are still chittering and chattering and such. And then all the flames in the wild pike start to go a bit dim. the whole room gets dim, and then all the lights go out. Fire goes out. And you hear the music, you hear a little like drum rolling start, and then you see this small procession coming from behind the bar, exiting out of one of the doors. It's these little lamps that are being held up, and in the firelight you see the faces of a few of the bar lads and the barmaids coming out. And at the very end of this little procession, you see Rosita and Darian, who are both holding this very large plate. And on it is this glass bowl. And as they approach, you hear this clang of brass. And then Bert starts singing, "Happy birthday." And it's this beautiful, melodic, deep baritone. And he sings "Happy Birthday" as this procession reaches your table. Rosita takes the plate in her own hands, and she lowers it in the middle of your table, and it's inside of this little pastry, this pudding-like pastry with this thin, nice little crust on the bottom. There's a couple of candles, and there's 3 candles, and they're lit. All the crowd in the bar starts joining in, but there's this awkward pause where they don't know the name because no one was prepared. And you
Viola's
hear
singing along, and she'll shout "Snow" really loud at that part.
you and Rosita and Darian and all the bard lads and maids know it, and it's loud enough to carry. And then they end with "Happy birthday to you." And there's this rousing applause that goes through the whole pike.
Wait, so is the pike have more people in it right now than earlier?
It's just us at all the other tables are empty.
Everyone left. No, it's been a steady flow. It's never been like an excessive amount that you were seeming to be concerned about. It's just, steady in and out of people today. Rosita gives you a kiss on the cheek, and then they applaud, and then they all wish you a very happy birthday and make their way out. The lights come back on, the fire comes back up, and Bert is now playing an even more chipper tune.
On our next tale.
Ste'yn, where are you going? Where are you sleeping?
I'm going to sleep amongst the dead.
Ew.
Does Leah send us off with any more bacon?
If you told her where you're going, absolutely.
I think you two are nuts.
Viola, I have a very important question for you.
Both of you, please give me a dexterity stealth check, please.
I got a 1. You got a 1 too?
I mean, Ste'yn had fun with this last time they were hanging out together, so she's going to suggest casting Zone of Truth again for some more questions and answers.
I dare you to do some little, ballroom dancing with Snow.
What? Viola, how'd your dad die?
And as you're moving ahead, there's another, as they are traveling.
What are they?
You get fiendish present.
We're being surrounded by fiends.
We don't even have the crown. Why do they want us?